Here with head women's basketball coach Sankey. Coach, thanks for your time today. Kind of doing a mid-season review at the halfway point. Kind of had a different schedule here the last couple weeks with Christmas break, different academic schedule as well. So just kind of bring us up to speed at this point of the year. Good record overall, 12-3. So just kind of give us your thoughts here on where the team's at the halfway point of the season.
Well, we're really looking forward to the second semester and what that means just in terms of conference play. The stretch of 7 conference games is a big chunk of our schedule, so we want to be ready for that. And we had an up and down finish to the first semester, but we want to really kind of build off the momentum that we built in Chicago and turn that into some conference wins.
Good. Talk about that experience in Chicago. It was a great 2-game stretch there. Talk about one, first of all, maybe kind of what the approach was to get ready for that tournament, obviously with the break and a couple of days off, and then you go right at it with back-to-back games. Talk about that approach and then some good things that the team did to be able to pick up 2 wins.
Yeah. Well, the first part of is that Christmas break tournaments and classics are just a neat opportunity for our girls to spend a lot of time together, to build our team camaraderie even more, to have some cool experiences, and we had all three of those things in Chicago. The basketball part's an added bonus. I mean, yeah, we want to be competitive, we want to win games, so we came back from Christmas really focused on getting both those games in Chicago, and we did. In Governor State game, we had some stretches where we played really, really well, and so to build on that, and then it was a very interesting back-to-back, playing North Central, a Grinnell-style team in the second game. Really proud of our girls, with especially our perimeter players, with how they handled the pressure and the pace on the second night and made great decisions for 40 minutes.
Good. Talk a little bit about that, expanding on the second game there with North Central. Not much time to prepare to a system like that. Talk about what that says about your girls as far as quick turnaround, the maturity and preparation on short rest and short turnaround.
Well, a lot of it is just a reflection of how much work our girls put in during the season, daily in practice, the type of conditioning that we're in, how they're used to playing and making good decisions and sharing the basketball. All that stuff just comes front and center in those types of games. Yeah, we would have preferred to have 3 or 4 days to prep, but quite honestly, on a quick back-to-back, you turn around and you really just rely on the abilities of your players and have the right structure, but then just allow them to make great decisions, and our girls did that.
Good. One of the big reasons, obviously, for those 2 wins and for a lot of your wins throughout the season has been the performance of junior guard Carrie Borowiak. She was named WAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week this week, second time in a row. Just talk about what she's meant to the team this year and how her performance continues to be consistent and steady there.
Yeah, well, Carrie's had an awesome first semester, and for a perimeter player, one of the most efficient offensive semesters that you'll see. Still shooting as a whole over 50% from the field, and making great decisions with the basketball, and really creating opportunities for the rest of our teammates. And our post players are benefiting from that. The rest of our guards are benefiting from Carrie's decisions and her efficiency and shooting numbers. So it's neat to see her put that string of games together to finish the semester. We also know there's more to come from her. There's more to come from the rest of our girls too, because just like the rest of our girls work really, really hard in practice, Carrie does too. She's a great example. She's a great leader and really shows, especially our younger players, what it takes to be great. It takes hard work every single day.
Good. Carrie also achieved 1,000 points for her career, the game at Governor State. You mentioned how she, is a good teammate and makes others around her better. Talk about maybe a little bit of her supporting cast this year as well too, to maybe allow a team to have to play her straight up because of the other weapons, which then allows her to hopefully, as we can see so far, increase her efficiency. So talk about the balance there and the supporting cast. That's allowed her to remain so efficient this year.
Well, I think a big part of it is just the tempo that we play at, and offensively the ability to play a little bit faster than we have the last couple of years. That loosens perimeter drives up. Mia has had some great opportunities for that, and she's so dynamic off the ball or off the dribble, especially from the top. And then all that kind of builds on it. And Brianna and Michelle, Zaina, they all get those perimeter opportunities and touches and catches, so that they can be in their comfort zone too. So, kind of the combination of those perimeter players, in addition with Carly and Brianne and Zaina, and Shelby inside, like those are big things, and so we create a lot of offensive pace, and defensively we create a lot of pace too. And quite honestly, like when we look at North Central, or we look at Governor State, like in the North Central game, even with their pace, like our defensive pressure is really what got to them and created turnovers. And I laugh because Chase fouled out in 15 minutes, but she was so aggressive and she was so good in gaps and on the ball. And that defensive pressure that we get from every single one of our players makes a huge difference for us.
Good. Now, shifting gears here, back on the Wednesday, Saturday routine with conference play starting this Wednesday at home against Marygrove, and then Saturday going to Aquinas. Looking ahead to next week, we have Madonna. That will round out the first round of playing every team in the WAC once and begin round 2. Talk about what the focus has been after Christmas break, 2 wins, and then shifting back here into a normal practice routine and game routine with Wednesday and Saturday games.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing about the second time around the conference is the scouting reports, and the intensity of our preparation matters even more than it did the first time. So as we start to see teams the second time, everybody's making adjustments for our pressure, or everybody's making adjustments for our offensive tempo, and we get to make adjustments too. So that preparation is a focus, but also how are we building our team? How are we building our culture and our just our excitement for wanting to play every day, because our girls are together and we're shooting and we're practicing, and so all of that camaraderie builds and makes us really excited to play tomorrow. So those are things that really show in the second semester in January and February is what teams are ready to make a deep run, what teams are ready to play well in crunch time, and we're working to make that us this year.
Good. Scouting report for Marygrove. What have you seen on film there, and how's the team preparing for Wednesday's matchup?
Well, they have very aggressive offensive players and a lot of confidence, and each one of their players knows the shots that they want to shoot and how they want to attack. So for us, it's about getting team defensive stops and enforcing tough shots, and then rebounding and finishing defensive possessions. And that's a huge part. Then also, creating some tempo. Like I said before, the offensive tempo, the defensive tempo, those two things will be key for us tomorrow.
Good. Looking ahead then, Saturday against Aquinas, they're a middle of the pack team, kind of right behind you guys, but a road game as well. Talk about what would be important there to prepare for Aquinas on the road.
Well, Aquinas is, from what I've seen so far, again, we haven't seen them yet this year, so most of what I've seen is just in terms of prepping for other teams, prepping for Marygrove. They played a couple games before Christmas. So just in terms of seeing Aquinas that way, they have some new faces this year that have added to. They didn't really lose much, if anything, from last year, so they're competing really, really well, and they're much improved, and they're going to be tough. Aquinas is a tough place to play, and we'll just have to make sure that our girls are ready for that. Good.
Thanks for your time today, Coach, Head Coach Thad Sankey, in preparation for this week's home game against Marygrove and Saturday against Aquinas on the road. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Head Coach Thad Sankey.